There are several ways that Alzheimer's is described, but not all of them help caregivers to understand what to expect next. Today, I'm going to walk you through a 5-stage Alzheimer's framework some clinicians use, and I'll explain how it shows up in real life. Hi, for those of you who are new here, my name is Dr. Sinclair. I'm a neuropsychologist, dementia care specialist, and founder of the Confident Caregiver Academy. Let's jump on in. One quick clarification before we jump on in, care partners. You may hear neuromedical language such as major neurocognitive disorder for dementia and minor neurocognitive disorder for mild cognitive impairment. That terminology comes from the DSM-5. The DSM is a guide that we use to diagnose disorders, so that's updated terminology. But in real life, families, caregivers, and providers alike still use the old terminology. I will try to use the old terminology as much as possible so as not to confuse you, but I do slip up from time to time. So if I do say major neurocognitive disorder, I'm referring to dementia. And if I do say minor neurocognitive disorder, then that refers to mild cognitive impairment, MCI, what you guys are used to hearing. Again, it's important not to get hung up on the labels, but to understand what's beneath. So let's jump on in. Big picture, Alzheimer's is a continuous process. Alzheimer's doesn't move in neat steps. It often develops slowly, quietly, and continuously, oftentimes over a decade or more. These 5 stages are not milestones. They're orientation points that help explain why memory isn't the first thing to fall apart, which often surprises a lot of caregivers, why judgment and flexibility decline early, as well as why caregiving feels so much harder sooner than expected. Stage 1, preclinical Alzheimer's disease. This stage begins years, sometimes decades before symptoms appear. Care partners are usually surprised to hear that by the time you got a diagnosis, this was already brewing in your loved one's brain for several years, and there are no outward signs that you would have noticed. What is happening in the brain during that time is that amyloid plaques begin to accumulate outside the neuron. Tau proteins form tangles inside the neuron, strangling the neuron and killing it. These changes, care partners, can be detected only through imaging or biomarkers, usually in research settings. This stage is rarely identified in everyday care. What's important for care partners to recognize at this stage is nothing you missed caused this, nothing you failed to notice would have prevented it. Stage 2, minor neurocognitive disorder or mild cognitive impairment, MCI, due to Alzheimer's. This is the stage where a lot of my care partners often say, Dr. Sinclair, things just felt off. What they're referring to, care partner, are these symptoms: subtle short-term memory lapses, trouble sequencing steps, slower decision-making ability, difficulty estimating time. While daily life still works, it requires a lot more effort. This is the stage where a lot of care partners start to question, is this normal aging or is something else going on? So if you are also asking yourself that question, care partners, you could be in this stage. And it's important to recognize that not all MCI is attributed to Alzheimer's dementia. There could be MCI due to one of the other dementia types as well. That's only going to get clarified for you through a full medical evaluation, neuropsychological evaluation, as well as biomarker testing. So if you're asking yourself that question, care partner, you may need to get a full workup to help clarify. Stage 3, mild dementia due to Alzheimer's. This is usually the stage that Alzheimer's is diagnosed because it's starting to interfere with one's daily life. A lot of the changes that you'll see are repeating questions, forgetting recent events, trouble managing finances or planning, getting lost in familiar places, word finding difficulty, and a lot of personality shifts. So your person with dementia might withdraw from social events. They may appear more irritable. They may have lost their initiative. They just kind of sit around the house and aren't doing as much as they used to do. This is often the stage that a lot of my care partners feel invalidated. You are noticing these subtle shifts and you turn to others asking them, are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing? And oftentimes they say no, and you start to second guess yourself. Trust that gut, care partner. You are noticing fundamental changes in your person. And so it's time to bring them in to have a full workup if you haven't already. If this is helpful to you, care partners, then please go ahead and like and subscribe to this video. I've also posted below for you in the description a Dementia Care Starter Kit for those of you who are just starting your journey. Feel free to snag it and learn more about dementia. Let's move on to the next stage. Stage 4, moderate dementia due to Alzheimer's. This is often the most demanding stage for care partners. What increases during this stage is confusion about time, place, and people. Wandering risk, that is your person with dementia trying to elope, trying to leave the house. Large memory gaps. Assistance needed with bathing, dressing, and toileting. Paranoia, accusations, hallucinations. Agitation, especially later in the day. None of these behaviors are intentional. It's a brain indicative of the struggling to regulate fear, struggling to regulate what's coming in through their senses, struggling to think and reason and make sound choices. It is at this stage that I often see care partners struggle with a lot of exhaustion, a lot of hypervigilance, waiting for the shoe to fall, walking on eggshells. You're feeling a lot of guilt when you snap, and you're also feeling a lot of grief compounded and layered by all of the responsibility that you have. This is the stage where support is essential. It's not optional. Stage 5. Severe dementia due to Alzheimer's. In this final stage, meaningful verbal communication largely disappears. Total assistance is required for all care. Walking, sitting, and swallowing decline, and muscle rigidity increases. Common causes of death during this stage are due to infections such as pneumonia. People at this stage often pass from dehydration, malnutrition, and falls. At this stage, care becomes protective and comfort focused. A lot of my care partners at this stage report feeling numb. It is your nervous system trying to survive, trying to protect you from the overwhelming experience that you've just gone through. Progression timeline. I get asked this question all the time, and the truth is, care partners, there is no one timeline. Life expectancy after diagnosis can be as little as 3 years all the way to 11 years. And I've seen people with dementia live up to 20 years. So it really does depend on a lot of variables. And some of those variables include untreated vascular risks like diabetes, illness and infections, poor sleep, chronic stress. Any of those variables can negatively impact someone with dementia and shorten their life expectancy. The truth caregivers deserve. The stages are not a prediction of your exact journey. I want for you to think of the staging model as a map, not a countdown. There are so many variables that's involved with dementia progression. So if you are ever feeling left out of the staging model, when you look at it, you feel confused, then care partners, you are not alone. This is the time perhaps to get a little bit more scaffolding, training, support, and guidance. This is something I offer in the Confident Caregiver Academy, and whether you use my academy or another community resource, when you are feeling overwhelmed, it's time to reach out and get support. All of that information is linked down below for you, as well as your free starter kit guide. Go ahead and grab those resources, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.